More now from my exclusive interview with Mary Trump. The president's niece is out with a new memoir, Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man. She takes us inside the family relationships that formed Donald Trump. Talk about the relationship between your father and his younger brother. He was about 8 years older?
About 7.5, 8, yeah. My dad, when they were younger, included him when he could, but I don't believe that they weren't close. And I think as soon as it became clear my father was not going to be able to continue a Trump management, I think Donald saw an opening. And I want to make something clear. This is very important to me. It's not that my dad wasn't good at it or had no interest in succeeding my grandfather in his company. My grandfather didn't give him a chance and made it impossible for my dad to succeed.
President Trump wasn't a fan of it either. He says now, and he has said for the last couple of years, that he regrets the pressure he put on your father.
He was also following his dad's script. So I can't fault him necessarily for doing what his father asked him to do.
Your father once dumped a plate of mashed potatoes on Donald's head?
Yeah, that's one of our favorite family stories. They were really young kids, and I think Donald was maybe 7. And one of his favorite things to do was torment my Uncle Rob, who was a couple of years younger. You know, my grandmother was cooking dinner, and Donald was just being merciless. And finally, my dad had no other option but to pick up a bowl of mashed potatoes, and just dump it on his little brother's head. And it ended the fight, but I think it also started something, because Donald was humiliated by it, as evidenced by the way he reacts to this story now. There's no sense of humor about it whatsoever.
It came up when you were at the White House in April 2017?
Yes.
Who brought it up?
My Aunt Marianne. Yeah, and we know that he doesn't like the story, so I think it was a bit of a dig.
According to the conversations you had with her, it doesn't sound like she believed that Donald Trump would be president, or should be president.
She very emphatically did not believe it would happen or think it should.
What did she say?
She thought that because he was a man without principle, nobody would vote for him. She was horrified by the white evangelical embrace of his candidacy. And, you know, because she knew that he had no deep convictions about religion one way or the other, and considered going to church a photo op.
Talk about Christmas at the Trump house.
It was strangely grim and hysterical, often at the same time.
It sounds like the dynamic shifted a little bit when Donald married Ivana
Yes.
Trump.
Yes. It was very striking, actually. It was the first instance in which there was a sense of wealth. You know, the way they dressed, the way they just sort of entered the house, the hair, the makeup, the expensive suits. The presents sort of gave me and my brother and cousin David a way to bond. And we sort of had a unofficial competition to see who got the most ludicrous present. I'm proud to say I usually won.
What was the first present you got?
A 3-pack of Bloomie's underwear. Retail $12.
From your uncle?
And Aunt Ivana, yes. What's interesting, though, is before that, I have no idea what Donald ever got me. So at least it was remarkable.
Many years later, you're an adult, you've graduated college, and Donald Trump actually hires you
Yes.
to write the sequel to The Art of the Deal, The Art of the Comeback. What happens?
So I got a desk in the back of his office and spent my days going through files and talking to other people in the office. And Went out to Las Vegas once, went to Atlantic City a few times, went down to Mar-a-Lago a few times. He wanted me to see, the breadth of the empire, but was never willing to sit down with me for an interview. This is a book about his comeback after very difficult, 2 or 3 years of serial bankruptcies. And because he wouldn't speak to me in terms of the book, there was no way for me to know what hand he had in anything, what his strategies were, what his plans were for the future.
He sent you materials, though, right?
Only once, but it turned out to be a transcript of some stream of consciousness stuff that he had spoken into a tape recorder, and it was almost exclusively about women. Women he dated, women he wanted to date but wouldn't date him, not that he put it on those terms. Women who probably because they rejected him, he disdained.
The New York Times review of your book concludes saying it's been written from pain and designed to hurt. Fair critique?
No. Written from pain, absolutely. Hurting wasn't it wasn't a goal. It wasn't an intention. If telling the truth, if telling the stories as I remember them, as they were told to me, causes pain, then the people who participated in them need to look to themselves.
Pain, maybe not, but she is very clear that she wants Donald Trump defeated, and that's part of the reason she's written this book. I should add, she worked on Donald Trump's memoir, but actually was fired by the editor without ever having written a word.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, it is fascinating. All right, thank you, George.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.